The Airbus A380 is a machine of staggering physical scale. It features two full passenger decks running the entire length of the fuselage, an immense wingspan, 4 engines, and a passenger capacity that dwarfs nearly every other commercial aircraft in the sky. Yet this aircraft presents a contradiction. It is a highly sophisticated machine, widely beloved by the people who fly on it. Despite this, airlines ultimately found the A380 incredibly difficult to buy and operate at a profit. The creation of this plane was a high-stakes corporate gamble. Airbus placed a multi-billion-dollar bet on how the global population would travel in the coming decades, assuming that extreme passenger volume would dictate the future of the industry. This aircraft represented a specific prediction about how we would move across the globe. But as the A380 finally entered service, the aviation industry began to shift, creating a gap between the plane Airbus built and the plane the world actually wanted. In the 1990s, the global aviation environment was facing a bottleneck. International air travel was booming, leading to severe overcrowding at major global airports and a strict limit on the number of available takeoff and landing slots. During this era, the Boeing 747 was the undisputed leader of the skies. It set the global benchmark for high-capacity, long-haul international travel. This map shows Airbus's core strategic hypothesis. They believed that to solve airport congestion, airlines would need an even larger aircraft to ferry massive waves of passengers exclusively between a few heavily trafficked megahubs. To execute this strategy, Airbus designed the A380 with record-breaking dimensions. They engineered an enormous wingspan, an extended flight range, and a cabin floor area vast enough to fit more passengers into a single airport slot than ever before. Airbus did not set out to build a versatile everyday plane. They built a highly specialized tool designed specifically for a world defined by extreme airport congestion. Constructing a machine of this size required solving entirely new engineering problems. Airbus could not simply scale up an existing wide-body jet. They had to design massive new wings, complex landing gear to support the weight, and advanced structural reinforcements. The manufacturing process stretched across Europe. Massive fuselage sections and wings had to be transported across different countries, often navigating down narrow European waterways on large barges, just to reach the final assembly line in France. After years of development and research, the A380 successfully completed its first flight in 2005. By its commercial launch with Singapore Airlines in 2007, the public reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Passengers were drawn to the quiet interior, the spacious double-deck cabin, and premium features like onboard lounges and private suites. From a technical and experiential standpoint, Airbus achieved its goal. They delivered a technically accomplished aircraft that immediately became a recognizable symbol of modern aviation. This chart demonstrates the core economic vulnerability of the A380, a load factor problem. Flying a 4-engine aircraft this size is only profitable when it is full. When passenger demand weakens and capacity drops below 80%, the plane's size becomes a financial liability. Emirates Airlines proved to be the rare exception to this rule. Operating out of their Dubai hub, they captured such massive, consistent flows of international passengers that the A380's business model could actually thrive. But this map illustrates a pivot in the global market. Instead of funneling passengers through mega hubs, airlines realized they wanted the flexibility of direct routes connecting secondary global cities to one another. The catalyst for this pivot was the Boeing 787. It offered lower operating costs, high efficiency, and the flexibility of 2 engines, making these direct, point-to-point routes profitable for airlines. Ironically, Airbus's own efficient A350 helped move the market away from the A380 by excelling at these same direct routes. Airbus fundamentally built a machine for a hub-and-spoke future, just as the wider industry decided to prioritize a point-to-point reality. By early 2020, the A380 program was in a precarious state. It suffered from low order volumes and a reliance on a very narrow segment of the market. The COVID-19 pandemic then stopped international long-haul travel. Airlines were forced to ground their superjumbo fleets as borders closed and passenger demand disappeared almost overnight. This forced a final decision. Airbus announced it would end A380 deliveries, Emirates reduced its orders, and the final production aircraft was handed over in 2021. The pandemic did not cause the A380's decline on its own. It merely accelerated a process that the industry's shift towards smaller, more efficient planes had already begun. Assessing the A380 requires separating the plane from the business case. While it was a technical success and remains popular with passengers, it was an economic mismatch for the market that eventually developed. Its legacy remains visible in the sky. The A380 is still one of the most recognizable aircraft ever built, and many passengers still seek it out when booking international flights. The A380 was built for a world of congested megahubs that never quite materialized at the scale Airbus imagined. In the end, the industry prioritized the flexibility of efficient twin-engine planes over the sheer volume of the superjumbo. Every A380 still in service is a flying reminder of one of aviation's boldest bets. To hear more stories about business, technology, money, and the decisions that changed the world, subscribe to Money Sapling.